Because
Okay, y'all. You are. Shalom, shalom. All praise to the Most High God and His Son, Yahushua. Battle Axe is coming to you with a Wednesday class. Hope everybody doing all right tonight. We're going to go into the subject of love, not the world. I keep hearing, our people that's in Christianity think God love everybody. And we just want to tackle that subject and let you know that ain't how this thing works. God don't love the whole world. I know that may be a shocker to some people out there, some people in the family and all that, but God does not love the whole world. The world doesn't love the God of Islam. Right. See, that's Islam, Hinduism, Christianity, Satanism, and all these other different pagan worships that they do. So how does it constitute that they love the Most High God? And we know that the way to love the Most High God is through the law, statutes, commandments, 1 John 5:3. So if you're not doing that, you're not showing love to the Most High God of Israel. So we just want to tackle that subject. I didn't want to start with this, but I guess I'll start with this just to start the class off. John 3:16. we ain't gonna go through the whole thing. I just want to use that just to start the class off, because this is where Christians love to run to. God so loved the world. And we're going to get an understanding of what world God loved, but then we're going to go into the class. You got that, officer? Where do you want to start? Start at John 3:16.
Book of John, chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
So God so loved the world. So let's get what world that the Most High God loves. Because contrary to popular belief, everybody think that the world is talking about everybody. Give me Isaiah 45:17. Because it's different worlds on this planet. It's not just one world. You got the sea world. You got the football world. The football world is not the same as the basketball world. You got a world over there in China. You got a world over there in Europe. They're doing different things. They speak different languages. They eating different things. That's a world in itself. And the Israelites have their own world, their own orbit that we do. You got that out?
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation.
Hold up, I don't think they heard you. But who?
But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
You hear that? It say Israel shall be saved with an everlasting salvation. That's the world that the Most High God loves. And let's prove that through the scriptures. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6.
because even like the captain is bringing out, one thing, a lot of times, even in the definition, the word world has 7 different definitions. You know, one of the definitions that's pertaining to the scriptures is a particular group or nation of people with common aims and goals. So you always want to get the correct context that the Bible is talking about, not man's definition of the word worlds, but what is the Bible definition of the word world?
That's right.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Read on.
The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you.
The Lord did not do what?
The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people. For ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you.
Because the Lord did what?
But because the Lord loved you. And because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, had the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
That is talking about Israel. He brought Israelites out of the land of Egypt and redeemed us. So when it said that God so loved the world, it's talking about the world of the Israelites. So I just wanted to tackle that matter before we got into the meat of the subject, because God told us not to love the world. He's not loving the whole world. He doesn't love sinners. He doesn't love people that sin against him, because if you're sinning against him, the opposite of love is hate. The way to love God is to keep his law, statutes, and commandments. If you don't keep them, then you're sinning. So sin constitutes hate, was the Most High God of Israel. So if you sinning against him, if you showing hate to him, then why would he love you when you're not loving him? So he gave us the same commandments. Love not the world. Let's get that out of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. And that's what we're going into, because our people got a deluded mind state when it comes to the word love. They love their enemies, love their own people, because they was taught that in slavery. But we have to reverse that thing. We have to love our people more than we love anybody else. The same with like your children. Are you gonna love the neighbor's children down the street more than you love your own children? You're not gonna do that. That doesn't make common sense. You're gonna abandon your children to go love the neighbor's children. No, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna love your children more than you love any children in the world. That's the same with the Most High. You got that up?
The book of 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world.
What did the Lord say?
Love not the world. Neither the things that are in the world.
Neither the what?
Neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
So to all my Christians out there, this is in the New Testament. It's saying if any man love the world, then the love of the Father is not in him. So why would you think that God loved the whole world when he's telling you not to love the whole world? Neither the things that are in the world. Read on up.
Verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh.
The what?
The lust of the flesh. And the lust of the eyes. And the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
It's of the what?
But is of the world.
So he's saying all that is in the world, not some of the stuff, all the things that's in the world. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. They are not of the Father. And let's tackle that word lust real quick. Let's get an understanding of the word lust and what it does and why he brought that up in that scripture. Give me James chapter 1 and verse 15. Because lust is the main problem that we got here. We lust after everything. We covet for everything because that's how we've been trained in this society. Money, money, money equals getting everything equals you're supposed to be happy.
Exactly.
But that's not true.
And a lot of times, just like Captain Nehemiah is going into, a lot of times people think that gain is godliness because the Most High done gave me all this, that make you think that you're going to get to the kingdom. But that is not the case. That have never been the case, man. You know, those things are only temporary, man. But when you keeping the commandments, that is immortality. That's what the goal is, to make it to the kingdom, man. Each and every one of us in here should have that same goal. Go ahead, Doc.
That's right. You got that out?
James chapter 1, verse 15. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
See, that's what the lust of this society gonna do to us. It's gonna bring us to death. If we buy into what this society is pushing, we're gonna be spiritually dead, like our people are, because we more worried about getting money, which is the property of Caesar, whose face is on that money. It's not our face on that money, so it's not even our money. So it's just a piece of paper with a thought process attached to it that says it means something, but in reality, it doesn't mean a dang thing.
Yeah, that's why they're about to try to trick people right now by putting what's her name, Harriet Tubman on the new bill over there to make you feel a little more part, to take you away. Why y'all think they done that at this time? Because y'all waking up. Our people are waking up, and they using every tactic to deceive our people. So be careful what's going on. Watch what's going on also, but be careful not to fall into those traps.
So the lust of this world is going to bring us into sin, is going to bring us to death. That's why the Most High is telling us not to love the things of this world, because he giving us warning of what it's going to do to us. And this society has us captivated by that thing, man. So that's why he tell us not to love the world, neither the things that are in it. Because read that out.
The book of 1 John. We're in 1 John. chapter 2, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
And the world passeth away.
Because the world gonna do what?
And the world passeth away.
Mm-hmm.
And the lust thereof.
So all this lusting that we do here, all the things that we accumulate here, is gonna pass away. The Most High is gonna destroy that thing. And not only that, you can't even take it with you.
Exactly.
Ask those pharaohs. Oh, you can't ask them because they dead. But all them pharaohs and all these emperors who tried to bury stuff, ships and slaves and horses, and try to take it into the afterlife with them, and those things are still there. They dug them up because you cannot take the things of this world with you. We can only take the spiritual things that we learn on this earth with us.
Let me get another precept on that real quick. Did you finish that? No, go ahead. Finish it out.
But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever.
Give me the book of Sirach, chapter 18 and verse 30. Because like I say, landing back over what he's saying, a lot of times God's laws help us to pump brakes on lust. Because like even Ak is saying, a lot of times our people, money. A lot of times for our people it's money, or for the men is sexual lust, women, all these things that, guess what? The Most High don't like it. We have to keep those things under control. And that's what God's laws help us to do. Read that up.
The book of Sirach, out of the Apocrypha, chapter 18, verse 30. Go not after thy lust.
Read that again.
Go not after thy lust.
We shouldn't chase the lust of the spirit, because all these things gets us into sin. The lust of the body, the lust of the eyes, just like the lust of your pockets, trying to get them fatter and fatter. Read on up.
But refrain thyself from thine appetite.
But refrain thyself. That's what God's laws help us to do. Refrain from that, to dealing in that type of sin or dealing in that type of wickedness. Read on up.
If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee.
That malign thee. Because guess what? When we malign ourselves with sin, the other nations know that that's the blueprint to taking us down, to keeping us on the bottom as a nation, as a society, because they know that the Most High won't fight for us if we break in his laws, statutes, and commandments. So we have to constantly pump brakes on that. Go ahead.
Let's go to the book of 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10. Because like we said, the stuff that's here can't do nothing for us when we go meet our Maker. Only the works that we do, the good works that we do. And the works is doing his will, the law, statutes, and commandments. That's all we can do for the Most High, is be obedient to him. Because that's what the law, statutes, and commandments equal up to, obedience. Read that up.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
Start at 6 for me.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain.
But godliness with contentment, being content with the things that you have. A lot of times we're not happy with the things that we have. We always want more, which is all right to have goals and ambitions. But some people go overboard with it. They're never content with the things that they have. But it said, but godliness with contentment is great gain. So keeping God's laws and being content with the things that he's giving you and taking care of you with, that brings great gain. Read on up.
Verse 7. For we brought nothing into this world.
What did the Lord say?
For we brought nothing into this world.
We ain't bring nothing into this world. We ain't even bring ourselves in this world. The Most High brought us into this world. And we came in naked. So we didn't have nothing with us. Read on.
And it is certain we can carry nothing out.
And it is certain that we can carry nothing out. And that's been proven by, like I said, with the pharaohs and the emperors and the different high-ranking leaders that died that tried to take stuff with them, thinking that they can take it into the afterlife. Read on.
Verse 8. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content.
So if you eating every day, and you got clothes on your back, and you got a roof over your head, and a job, and you not wanting for nothing but the things that you are yearning for, but you know you taking care of, you're supposed to be content about the thing, because that's the Most High doing it. Because we can easily go downtown and see a lot of people that doesn't have any of these things.
Think of it as a bonus check. You got on some shoes right now, it's a bonus check. You got on the shirt right now, you got a bonus check. Everything you got, because you ain't have nothing. Running around here butt naked when you first came out, then look at you. clothed all up, and everything. So if you got that, man, just praise the Most High. Look at all them bonus checks y'all got.
And contrary to how we believe over here, is people trampling all over each other to try to get over here because they want the little bit that we have. You know, we blessed. It may not feel like it because we amongst these Edomites that got everything, but to the rest of the people in the world, we blessed. They love to have the little stuff that we have. So we should be content, especially because we in captivity right now. That's the whole thing to it. We're not in our own land. We don't have our own financial system, our own military, our own government. We are people that's in captivity and been conquered, and yet we still thriving and still have the little bit of stuff that we have. Because just think about where we came from. We was in chattel slavery, living in slave shacks, getting the scraps that master was throwing to us. And now his brothers in here owning their own businesses. Sisters owning their own businesses. Making good for themselves. Children well taken care of. We learning on who we are now. That's a far cry from where we came from when they brought us over. Read on up.
Verse 8, and having food and raiment, let us be there with content.
Read that again.
But having food and raiment, let us be there with content.
Because don't the birds get to eat? They ain't got to go look for nothing. The Most High gives it to them. The lilies get watered. The beasts of the field eat. They ain't got to go to work to do it. So how much better are we than them? So if you got faith in the Most High God, then you should have faith that He's gonna take care of you.
Just like I'm going to, who in here have ever been a whole week without lights? What about food? What about something to drink? It's been a whole week.
What about all three at the same time?
All three at the same time.
Good
Okay,
thing you alive here today.
that's right.
So, like I said, you got another bonus check.
You got another bonus check.
Right.
See, because guess what? 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have a few people that go through those things, and that's true. But the thing is, even all the little simple things that you go through, guess what? You still don't hurt for nothing. And then when the Most High give you something, guess what you do? After He done get to you, you forget about all the stuff you don't went through. That's the reason why the Lord put us through this captivity. So guess what? When we look back on this thing, we're going to know it, man. We're going to know it because we didn't learn nothing out of 6 times. He put us in captivity 7 times. Guess what? He said, we're going to get this thing right. That's why the birds ain't got to worry about, birds don't never worry about feeding themselves. They just get up and go. That's why the Lord said, consider the ant. Because the ant get up and do what it's supposed to do, just like we're going to do it. That's like we're going to do when the king comes.
And at the times when you didn't have nothing, remember them times you thought, man, everything going well, just so doubtful. And then them times, I remember times when you didn't have nothing to eat. Then when you finally ate something, you're like, man, you got too much food, and then your stomach hurting and all that. Most High done fed me too much now. You know what I'm saying? And that's be right after them times you be like, man, ain't nothing in there. I have my kids in there, but then all of a sudden, bam, you got more than enough in there. And that's how the Most High works. Just be content with what you got. You got a daily life that you got to go through. We in captivity. So the fact of the matter is, if we stress ourselves trying to get what the world got, a lot of people, you can go to the graveyard right there and ask them to raise their hand. Which one of y'all was stressed out? Y'all gonna run up out that graveyard when all the hands pop up out the grave, blah, blah, blah. Because that's what they did, stressed out in this life, not being content with what the Most High gave.
And also, if we supposed to be the kings and princesses of the earth, right? And He brought us to a lower estate. Just think about little spoiled rich kids. They not grateful because they've been rich their whole life. What's the most grateful person on this earth? Somebody who ain't have much, and then when they work their way up to get it, they more grateful than somebody who was born into being rich. That's what we going through right now. We was rich. We was the kings of the earth. We lost that for disobedience. So now we got to earn that thing back. And by the time we earn it back, the Lord bet we be grateful. We gonna be grateful because He's sending us through that fire.
Let me read this precept real quick. Give me the book of Sirach, chapter 29 and verse 21. Because even like I say, what Captain is going into, the The chief things we need in life is this right here. You get there, officer, y'all read that for me.
Sirach 29 and 21. The chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame.
So those are the things that we need. That's the chief things. And if the Most High is blessing you with those things, be content with that. Read on now.
Better is the life of a poor man in a mean cottage.
Because even if you don't have a lot of money, you're a poor man, but you have a small little shack, guess what? That's your shack. And a lot of times people don't have that. We see when we out there on the corners teaching, a lot of our people out there homeless, don't, like we say, have a pot to piss in. So guess what? They will want that mean cottage, man. Read on up.
Then delicate fare in another man's house.
Than to be going and living with someone else, man. You know, so those are the chief things that brothers and sisters should strive for. Like we say, this is just the beginning, man. We're trying to make it to the kingdom to where, guess what, everything will be laid up for us.
And,
Go ahead,
and let me touch on another point. Just like, okay, a lot of people, like, they look at people making, okay, this person make $100,000. Well, this person make $10,000 a month. Another person make $2,000 a month. The person make $10,000 a month. His bills is $9,500. This person making $2,000 a month. His bills is $400. Who make the most money between them two? The person making $2,000. See, because we look at the numbers just because how big the number, that don't mean nothing. But the thing is, what you bringing in. We get a lot of time we get fixated on the bigger thing because you see the picture so big, but you don't know what's behind the scenes of that picture.
That's a lot going on in this society.
Mm-hmm.
This country really is broke, but they play like it's rich.
Let me get hit on the listener.
Let me finish this
Okay,
scripture out.
go ahead.
Finish that Timothy 6 out. 6 and verse
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 9. But they that will be rich fall into temptation.
They do what?
But they that will be rich fall into temptation and they snare.
So it's not against the law to be rich, but if you not your loins ain't girded, and you got this word in you, then you're gonna fall to temptation, and it's gonna be a snare for you. Read on.
And into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition.
Which do what?
Drown men in destruction and perdition.
Read on.
Verse 10. For the love of money is
For
the
what?
root. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covet after, they have erred from the faith.
They have done what?
Erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
So in this society, our people, think about all the songs. All they doing is talking about money. And they not just talking about money to have to take care of their business. They in love with the money. And that is the root of evil for our people. And that's the downfall for our people because what they do when we sell dope. I'm just trying to feed my kids. I'm trying to get it the best way I can. Brother, that is not the best way to get it. But that's how we was taught. Let's get that fast money. We don't want to take the time to go get a certificate, a license, or a degree to go get a job so we can properly take care of our family so that we won't go to prison. That's how you know we messed up in the head. We think the best way to go get this money is the quickest way, but it's the one that's gonna get us killed or get us sent to prison. Then what money you making for your family? And we never, our people as a whole that's hustling in the hood, never stop to think about that thing.
You know what? My pops used to tell me, I used to tell my pops when I was a little young, I want to get it out the mud. He said, you're going to get stuck in the mud. Right. You know what? And that stuck in my mind too. It stuck in my mind for a long time, man. But, you know, as we walk in this truth, guess what, man? We can't look back. Because sometimes we try to go get that thing out the mud. You just might get stuck in that mud, man.
And the landing back on Ock, like you said a while ago, the $10,000 dude that's making $10,000 a month. Well, now guess what? He's trying to live that $10,000 lifestyle. So now guess what? Oh yeah, I don't eat nothing but $100 steaks every day. Oh yeah, I'm SK 550 every day. Oh yeah, I put $100 in my tank every day. So now you're going after the things more lust, just adding on to more lust. Now you're so caught up in money, you ain't worried about your people or your family or anything else. And you gotta what? Keep getting that money.
That's right.
So that's all that matters now. I got a bill on this car now. I got to keep this flashy jewelry on. I owe the bank this and that. So that's what the scriptures is saying, man. The love of money, man. When you love that money, it turns to more lust and more lust on top of lust. Because you want to live that lifestyle.
And they fall into temptation. That's what it's saying. It's temptation, it's snares. The more you're going after, the more you're gonna get trapped up in these things that's out there for you. Because a lot of people, man, a lot of them got more. Man, y'all think they happy. There's a lot of people, man, got way more problems than y'all with that money. They sitting up there with they sleep with one eye open and one eye closed. Because and not only that, they not looking out there for somebody to come in here and rob them. They got to look around the people that's around them that's about to rob them. That right there, you got comfort that you don't have to do that right now. Unless you have money, then you got to watch out for me. I might take you.
And the thing is, like I go into, it's nothing wrong with having money, but guess what? You want to be even more rich towards the Most High than you is to that money.
That's right.
You know, that's the point. Go ahead.
Read that up. The book of Mark, chapter 8, verse 36. Mark chapter 8, verse 36. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
So let's think about Michael Jackson or some of these other high-profile artists. Gained the whole world, but what happened? They died early. I bet you they sold their soul. You had to give that thing up to gain this world. Ain't no righteous person finna blow up in no music industry or Hollywood or any other organization that's going on in this society right now. It doesn't happen. It's controlled by the elites. It's controlled by the wicked. So you're gonna have to do some wicked stuff to get to that point. Cardi B ain't just become no rap star overnight for nothing. Nicki Minaj and Drake, they just blew up. One minute you never heard of them, then the next minute, boom. Come on, man. It doesn't just happen like that. You're gonna have to give something up. Read on us.
Verse 37. Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
What he gonna give in exchange for his soul? What he gonna get in exchange for his soul?
What's that precept you pull all the time up? You got it down at 12. What's that?
Luke 12,
No,
15.
might be that's a rock that you pull all the time. What's it about the bowels, man? That's a rock. Yeah. Bring that out right quick. He said, what does a person have to give? The Bible finna show you exactly what does it have to give. What's that? Go and pull that precept out.
Check it out.
I hadn't been to it in a while. I should go back to that one.
Because all we got is our spirit and our soul on this earth.
Here you go, I got it.
Bring it out.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 7.
Yep.
We'll start at verse 7.
Pride is hateful before God and man, and both doeth one commit iniquity.
Read verse 8.
Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries and riches got by deceit. The kingdom is translated from one people to another.
That's how we lost our kingdom, because of the pride, and we wanted so much other stuff that they wanted, and God gave us so much more. But read the next one though.
Verse 9. Why is earth in ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man.
Because guess what a covetous man do? He see the man that got the $100,000. He want all of that. Guess what? There's a lot of stuff behind that thing though. Read up.
For such an one setteth his own soul to sell.
Because guess what? When you got it, when you want to go, when you want all this stuff, they like say Cardi B or Michael Jackson, when they made an overnight success overnight, it ain't for nothing. Read.
Because while he liveth, he casteth away his vows.
He give away his vows. And what is that?
He been
But
they tearing him up.
That's what the scripture say that they doing. Guess what? That's what they doing, man. He gonna have to cast them vows away. He want them riches. Guess what? And excuse my language. Guess what? You got to be a bitch to be rich.
Right. And they lose their protection when they make a covenant. Y'all understand, when they make a covenant outside of the covenant that the Most High God got. That's why the Most High allow that when you see him, Michael Jackson died, Tupac did, Biggie Smalls died. All of those because they gave up, they made a covenant with the world. So now the Most High is sitting back like, I'm not protecting them no more. You became a part of them. So it's not the fact, because the Most High is the one doing it when they die. He's allowing that to. And that's what they live under, that covenant. So if they get out of line under that covenant, they put them to death in this world. And the white man knows that's all he has to do. So-called white man knows that all he has to do is keep on. That's what he loves people. Well, that's like if y'all in the group, like we could be the, what is that? The high five or whatever right here. And they're going to look at one of them. They're going to look at the one who's all about everything. And they're going to pull him out the group. We need you. Y'all look at all how they did every black group. And they always took somebody out, made a covenant with them, then used them to tear down the rest of us. Y'all get it? All praise. Go ahead.
Let's get Romans chapter 12 and verse 1. Look at Romans. Got that up?
Book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service.
So while we here, we supposed to be presenting our bodies as a living sacrifice to the Most High God, walking in holiness for Him. And that's getting our spirit right for the next level. That's why we got to keep the dietary laws and keep all the laws, because that sanctifies us while we here in the midst of the world. Because we got to let our light shine forth to our people. Now, how we do that if we not keeping the laws ourselves? Read on up.
Verse 2, and be not conformed to this world.
What did the Lord say?
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
And that's what we working on here. We're working on the mind. They did a number on us in slavery. That's what they was working on our mind. So now we got to go reverse the effects of slavery to come back to our God. That's why He's telling us that we got to transforming by the renewing of our mind. And how do we do that? By keeping His laws, statutes, and commandments. Read on up.
Hold up. That's the reason why this curse right here. That's the reason why when He said you got to renew your mind. Deuteronomy, I'm going to read it out. Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until He have destroyed thee, destroyed thy mind. So guess what? We got to renew our mind from being in bondage. And that's what the Ark is getting over into. Go ahead,
And I'm going to bring another precept out right quick. Psalms chapter 19 and verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect. I'm going to repeat that. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. That's what we're doing. We converting our soul from that worldly, lustly spirit that we had on us to that godly spirit, so we can be accepted by Him. Right. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. So we were simple when we was in the world. I thought I knew some stuff. When I came into this truth, like the scripture say, you got to be as a little babe, because all that stuff is garbage compared to the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Most High that He meant to have Israel have.
That's right.
Finish that out.
Romans chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
And we transform our mind. We transform our mind through the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, converting our soul. Read on.
That ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
So that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're here doing right now.
That's right.
Converting our souls to those godly spirits that we was meant to be in the first place.
Brother Hisamach, what is the will of God? You got a precept for that? You got a precept real quick? Abaya, what precept you got?
I don't have a precept for that.
Brother Shaya.
I got a precept where the brother was talking about.
I want a precept for will of God. What you got, Shaya?
This is the will of God that we keep His commandments.
What precept?
That's 1 John chapter 5 and verse 3.
You got one back there, brother? What you got? What you got?
1 John 5.
Psalms 40 and 8. The will of God.
The will of God. Let's go to St. John chapter 15 and verse 18. Because like the title of the class is Love Not the World. If we in the process of loving the world, how can we love the Most High? We can't serve two masters.
After class, sis. Remember the precepts we gave you
That's
after
why we
class?
brought out those precepts.
You can ask the question that you want after class. Write it down and hold your thought. Go ahead.
But he told us not to love the world, because if we in the process of loving the world, then we might well be in Christianity. Because that's what Christianity teach. And when you in Christianity, you're not loving your people.
Right.
You too busy loving the slave masters, because that's what they taught us. Read that out.
St. John 15 and 18. If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you.
So what did Christ say out?
If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you.
Now why, if we supposed to love the world, then why did the world hate Christ? The world should love Christ, but it hated Christ. And this is Christ telling us, if the world hates you, like it hate us now, know that it hated him first. So if the scheme of things was for us to all be one and love everybody that's hating us and killing us and murdering us and robbing us, then why would Christ say that? Read on out.
Verse 19. If ye were of the world would love his own.
So if we was Cardi B, Michael Jackson, Drake, they'd love us, because we'd be of the world, because we done been and sold our soul to the world. That's why they love them. When you look on the TV screen and you see all these people that's popular, they love them because they done gave something up to be part of the world. I'm not giving nothing up to be a part of this world. This world hates me. It hates my brothers. It hates my sisters. And God said he don't love this world. Read on out.
But I have chosen you out of the world. Therefore, the world hated you.
Let's get St. John chapter 17 and verse 9. I'll rip these last few scriptures out right quick.
St. John chapter 17, verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world.
What color is these letters are?
Red.
Read it again.
I pray for them. I pray not for the world.
Now, if we were supposed to love the world, then why would Christ say this? He say, I pray for them, meaning the Israelites that's keeping the law, statute, commandments of the Most High God. I pray not for the world, because the world don't believe in keeping the law, statute, commandments of the Most High God. Right. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get a precept right quick. The book of 2nd Ezra, hold that. 2nd Ezra chapter 3 and verse 36. It said, thou shalt find that Israel by name has kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. The heathen are the other nations. They have things that they worship. They have idol worship. They have their religions that they do. And it doesn't pertain to keeping God's law, statutes, and commandments. And that's how you know the difference. We the only ones that believe in keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, because we was the only ones given the law, statutes, and commandments. Right. Read on up.
I pray for them. St. John 17 and 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine.
Let's get James chapter verse 4.
The book of James, chapter 4, verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God?
Read that again.
Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God?
This is talking to our brothers and sisters in Christianity, because they committing adultery right now. Spiritual adultery. You have physical adultery, but you have spiritual adultery when you're going against the Most High God. And what they're doing, they worshiping white Jesus. They worshiping Saint Mary and Saint Peter and all these different pagan guys that they got, calling them by different names in the church. So the Lord said, know that the friendship of the world is enmity with God. That goes against God. It's like he said, any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. And we can keep bringing these precepts out all day just to prove the point that it doesn't make sense for us to love the whole world when the whole world hates us. Read that, finish it out.
Whosoever, therefore, will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God.
We can just close the book right there. Read that one more time.
Whosoever, therefore, will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God.
They say God love everybody. God love the world. He said, whosoever is a friend of the world is an enemy of the Most High God of Israel. So that speaks for itself right there. So if you're an enemy of the Most High God of Israel, then you're an enemy of me. Right? You're an enemy of the battle axes. You're an enemy of all the Israelites that's keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. And that's just where we draw the line at right there. Right. Any brothers got anything?
Oh, yeah.
So with that, I think we're gonna end it right there. Say y'all peace.
Go ahead. Oh,
Dope.
yeah, go ahead.
Those is on Facebook. Thanks for logging into the class. Share the video. Those is on YouTube. Like the video, share the video. Those is given to the GoFundMe page. We thank y'all dealers for that. Those funds be used not at our own purpose, but for the Most High purpose, man. And hopefully one day we will come to a city near you.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this law. You got one up? Sure. Give me the book of Exodus, chapter 23, and verse 13.
The book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 13. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth.
So as we constantly in this walk, we constantly want to build ourselves with the true God of the Most High, the true God of the Bible of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and put off all the other gods that we don't learn in Christianity. Because this is some of the main things that we have to shake as a nation of people. And that word circumspect is going into wary or unwilling to make risk. You know, coming into this truth, you don't want to play or take any risks in this truth, man. You want to stay on that straightway path and hey, endure to the end, brothers and sisters.
Because we took all the risks when we was in the world.
That's right.
Now it's time to play it safe. And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
Hey, sisters, we know we kind of go a little fast. This is Wednesday night class, so y'all make sure you write your scriptures down and go back over the class, you know.